Hey, great evening, everybody. Happy Monday. You know what time it is. It is time for Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves. We are back, y'all, and we are ready. We know that just this is not a show, but a flow here at Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves. I am the visionary and host, Mone't S. Horton, and of course, I am here with my absolutely fabulous, amazing co-host Tiara Parker. Say hey to the people.
Hey, everybody. Happy Monday.
Yes, happy Monday. Y'all, it's that time. We are just happy and excited to be here. Another opportunity to connect, to cultivate, and to contribute to the community. And, here at Sister to Sister, we want you to take a moment, take this time for yourselves. We hope that you've had a power pack launch to your week, and today we are ready to just continue to flow. I can't believe, and I know we kind of keep saying this, but it's like it's the end of November already. Next week,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yes. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like literally Thanksgiving is next week. Like what?
Are
I don't
you
even Girl, no.
ready?
Absolutely not. This is just it's crazy. I just feel like time is just literally evaporating.
So you said evaporate.
I do. I feel like it's just like poof and then it's gone.
And it's gone. But if we're not ready, we're going to get ready
That
because
part.
we have to stay in a position of ready. So y'all, you already know, if you have not checked off some things on your list, it's time for you to make that power move. We have been emphasizing it, and here, sister to sister, this is what we want you to do. We want to be committed to a life in action. So as you're coming on tonight, go ahead and take a moment to click and share, because we have just a I mean, I'm super excited to have our guest tonight. She is one of my Soul Well sisters. Um, and she's just been a jewel since I have met her. Just look straight to the point, direct, and I'm just excited to have her to join tonight. So you want to take a moment to click and share, click and share. I'm sitting on the side of my seat because we are going up to another level tonight. So as you all are coming on tonight, go ahead and click and share. Come on in, get your pen, your paper, your notepad, because as we say in school, they say when I was in school, you want to take some copious notes. All right. Now tonight, let me introduce our guest, our very special guest, the Karen Mckoy. Look, y'all, take a look at her name. All right. Tonight, we are going to talk about the art of release. The art of release, how to renew, reclaim, and rediscover your joy. If you've been trying to pinpoint some joy, trying to figure out how do I navigate life and maintain joy, happiness, abundance, all of those great things, while you're still navigating the ebbs and flows of life, tune in tonight and definitely, again, take a moment to click and share. Our guest, the Karen Mckoy, is an award-winning international speaker as well as author who shares her wisdom with thousands of listeners on being resilient in the face of adversity in life and finding joy on the journey. Karen shares her struggles after the death of two children and a granddaughter. Again, she counsels mothers about the personal journey to renew joy after losing a child. Upon earning a Bachelor of Science degree in business management with a concentration in leadership, Karen earned a Master of Arts in Religious Studies. With those formal degrees, Karen has earned a doctorate in navigating through the tragic vic. You going to help me out with this word, Karen? Vicissitudes of motherhood as life is the best graduate school. I hope I said that right, Karen. As a resilient strategist, Karen assists women in discovering God given their God given gifts through the tragedies suffered in life following the loss of a child and knowing there is still joy even after the inconsolidatable pain of death and heartbreak. She also uses art therapy to build a strong relationship by slapping paint on paper. We're excited to have Karen Mckoy tonight. She resides in Clayton, Alabama, with her husband, William, and six lovable, rough Rottweilers, Lauren, Ruth, Boaz, Lily Rose, Brandy, Buster, and Cy Anna Grace. All right now, Karen, the mother of seven children, two of whom have their earthly home in their parents' hearts, and two bonus children. She loves reading good books and occasionally watching funny movies. Karen desires mothers having lost children by tragic death to know that there is life after the death of a child and to live those following years as much as is the will of the Almighty by humbling to his purpose only. Everybody, without further ado, I want to go ahead and welcome Karen to the stage. Karen,
Hey, girl.
welcome.
Hey.
Hey, hey, and hey. Look, I had to take a pause. Excuse me on those moments. I said, wait a minute. Okay, we're going to keep on moving. So
Look,
you help us through. But welcome to Sister Talk Power Moves.
yeah. Look, it's that's what happens when you have your elder write your bio for you. He puts it out there. So it's vicissitudes.
Come on, vicissitudes. All right.
It's like say it like 5 times with vicissitudes, but when you go into the meaning of it, it's one of those things that really I had to just leave it there and be like, okay, it does speak to who I am.
Yeah.
But my bio is it's one of those things like Dr. Vicky always say, well, how do you feel after you're hearing all that, right? And I'm still amazed that all of that you have said, like say all of my degrees that I have and all the things, they just don't really define who I am enough.
Mm.
So
Tell us some more.
life God called me, God chose me.
Yeah.
I went running. I didn't want to do none of the things. Don't want to do none of that, Lord. I want to go out here and do my own thing. Just let me go and do me. I remember 12 years old sitting on the side of the bed, just like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. People already think I'm weird and crazy and all the things, right? So now
Mm-hmm.
you want me to dream about the things and then tell people what I dreamed about, and just like, no, I don't want to do none of that. So I ran for some years. I ran for a lot of years. And the fast forward, I can think I kind of stopped running somewhere around 97. Let me see. No, Andrew was born in 98. So around 98, 99, I stopped running a little bit, just a little bit, y'all, just a little bit.
Just a little
And
bit.
then just a little bit. And then, when God calls you, you feel like you got to do the school thing. You got to get yourself equipped. You got to do more because the world expects more of you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So God called me, right?
Mm-hmm. That
But I'm
again.
preparing for the world.
Ooh.
But God called me.
Can we just sit there for a second? Like you
Mhm.
already coming in.
That's a
And I feel
word.
like I need
That's
my good cup.
I think I literally feel like you just snatched some people up with that
That mouthful right there.
God called me, but I'm preparing all the time, knowing that I was called. But here I'm preparing for the world.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Y'all welcome in. We here. The conversation has already been tuned, right? We it's tuned up here. We see our sister out there, Monique Pearson.
Hey,
Go
Monique.
ahead. Hey. Yes. Go ahead and take a moment to click and share. We are in the building tonight with the Karen Mckoy, and she is already just go ahead and drop a nugget. So but you were called by God, but now preparing for the world, the degrees, the all the certificate, all of the things, we think that we need.
All the things.
So how
Because
do you navigate from there? How did you navigate from there?
I really didn't. I still continued on. And so I did the bachelor's, got my bachelor's, got 2 masters, and then I was going to get my doctorate. And Dr. Vicky asked me a question. She's like, "Well, what are you getting your doctorate for?" And I didn't really have an answer. And she said, "No, I want you to think about it. And if it's not for you, then just really, think about it for yourself." And I think I thought about it, and then I was just like, well, I don't even know. Because Dr. McKoy sounds good. There is a Dr. Karen McKoy out there in the world, believe it or not. Google her. It ain't me, it's her. But God kept telling me, he just like kind of tapped me on the shoulder. I've already called you. You're already prepared. You already are what I want you to be. Stop trying to be what you feel the world wants you to be, right? And so then when you do that, you're not showing up in who you really are, right? And Dr. Vicky always, slap us around with some things. And so over the years, I've just come to the fact that I'm happy with who I am. Now, I did have to go through some things. I've lost 2 children in 17 years. So 17 years since my daughter and granddaughter died. And then it's 5 years since my son was murdered. Now, after my daughter and granddaughter's death, that's when God was just like, listen, y'all got your attention now? And then I was like, no, you think I'm going to listen to you now? You taking my daughter and my granddaughter? You think I'm listening to you, dude? No. So I stood at the crossroads of life, right? I stood at the crossroads. When I tell you the crossroads, I could have went where I don't believe God, which is where her father went. He's just like, I don't pray, I don't do that. This cannot be a God. So I'm still standing at the crossroad. I still got children, right? And so I'm still standing here, and God is like, I'm just waiting. Which way are you going? And I stayed at that crossroad for probably about 3 years, right? And so in the process, my daughter died in 2007. I went to Germany at the end of 2007, came back stateside 2008, got engaged, got married 2009, right? And all these things, I'm just like, okay, there's life after death. Okay, this is feeling good, it's looking good, whatever. And somewhere along 3 years, I woke up and I'm married. I'm living in Germany. I got this new husband and this new role. I feel like I woke up from a coma and I had this whole life going on. So I tell mothers who have lost children and tell anybody that's going through grief, don't make life decisions after you've lost something as painful as it was that I went through, the loss of my daughter and my granddaughter. Now, am I upset that I got a husband in the process? Absolutely not, because God took me in a broken place and then he gave me what I needed. Because, I was single, had been single for about 15 years, and I was out here. Anybody know? Monique, we don't have this conversation. Monet, we don't have this conversation with Monique sitting at the table.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So, and my husband is none of what the 6 feet and all of things. So God didn't give me what I wanted. He gave me what I needed, right? He gave it to me when I was broken and I couldn't even get up and walk away from it.
Say that. Wait a minute. So say that one more again. So you said that he gave you what you needed. You say it again and tell us what you mean.
God gave me what I needed when I was broken. And I couldn't get up and walk away from it. And when I say that, I'm meaning my husband in all of this wasn't the package that I had. You know how we write in our journals, we write all things, right? And so when you go, and if you were to go back years and read one of them journals, my husband is my height. My husband is a week older than me. I wanted somebody older than me, not so much as a week older than me, but God still kind of answered that. But all of the things that I thought I needed, like all the things I thought I needed. And so when God brought me my husband got on a red eye from Germany. We wasn't even married yet. We wasn't even really, I hadn't even decided if I was going to keep old boy, right? And he
Wow.
got on a plane from Germany. My daughter them died on Friday night. William was stateside Saturday morning, on his way driving to Atlanta to be by my side. Like, who
Man.
does that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And my bishop was like, I don't really know this dude, but you might want to, kind of pay attention. So it was like, okay, well, he's here. I don't care. I've lost something. Like my daughter and my granddaughter are dead. Like, I don't care about a man at this point. You know what I'm saying? So we moved past that. He was there. It was past the funeral with everything. Life was going on. I had a breakdown at work, and my daughter called and told him, and he was like, hey, why don't you come to Germany and just take time out for yourself. Take time to recover. Because my kids were with my ex-husband, so they weren't with me. So you move past that, and I'm in Germany. Well, first of all, I was like, dude, you want me to do what? I got a job and I got bills. He's like,
Right.
send me a list of your bills. Mone't, how many men asked you to send them a list of your bills?
It was him. It wasn't okay. Come on. Yeah. I don't know. Listen, I don't know.
I hadn't had none. So.
Not yet. Not yet.
It's coming. That's why. What? Not this conversation. See, this conversation coming. It's coming together now.
It's coming together. Come on now.
So we fast forward. I'm in Germany, and we're like he was in the army, and he left and was gone for like I was in the house by myself for like really a month, right? And I got to really, me and God got to have some serious conversations. I got to scream without somebody, calling police. Like where he lived was out in the country. It was just what I needed. Right. And he wasn't there. So there was no judgment of me feeling like, oh, the good church girl, she crying out, she's screaming, and you don't trust God? Like there was no judgment. There was no one there judging me. And then I got to say what I wanted to say out loud to God. And the one thing I said was, God, why in the hell do you have me here? Like, why my child? Why my granddaughter?
Yeah.
And that was my first moment, was with the fact where when God said, I've already called you. I've already equipped you. You've been called. I've already equipped you. You don't got to do nothing else. Just show up in the world as who you are. The people that need you, they're going to hear your voice. They're going to come. They'll be there. Anybody else that got something to say about Karen, they're not your people. Now I'm still walking that one out. I'm still walking that one out because we got this people pleasing in us, and Black women that walk around with the cape. I try to throw the cape down every time I feel myself putting it back on.
Right,
I try to throw it down because being the mother of 7 kids, and most of that single, I'm used to throwing the cape on.
Yeah.
But I would tell you, if anybody's listening to me right now, don't have to lose something so great to you. Don't let God really have to slap the hell out of you in order to get your attention. And after my daughter and granddaughter, I got it. I was like, all right, God, I got it. So I stopped. I didn't stop going to school. I didn't stop learning because I love learning. I do love learning. But I stopped doing it thinking I needed to show up for people. First of all, I show up for God. Secondly, I show up for Karen. And then everybody else gets the drip that comes on after that. So after losing 2 children, after losing 2 at the same time, imagine standing next to 2 caskets. That was hard enough. And then when my son was murdered 5 years ago, I didn't fuss and cuss at God this time. I was just like, okay, we're here again. I know you kept me over the last, at the time, 12 years, and I know you'll keep me going forward. So what do you have me to do now? And that's where I was. It was humble as can be. And I just asked for the strength to get through it, continue to get through and, still continue to get through. And The only thing, my road is getting narrower and narrower, and now it's just as to lead people back to me, even through the hard times, even after walking away from the casket. God is still there. And where we are in life right now is just life is a part of death is a part of life, right? You
Yeah.
know, I was talking to Dr. Vicky yesterday, and I had said we prepare for the babies. You know, we have the baby shower. They're doing these big old extravagant gender reveals, but nobody prepares for the funeral.
Mm.
And in the Bible, it says to, you rejoice when a baby's born, or no, you rejoice when someone, passes on. And then when a baby's born, you're supposed to cry because now the baby's coming into this sinful world and all the things. But we do it the opposite way. And that's
Yeah.
like, so when my son died, I told my bishop, I was like, I don't want to have a sad funeral. His death was tragic enough. I
Mm-hmm.
want to have a homegoing. I want to do exactly what he said, literally the day before he died. The conversation we had, it was like, Mom, I know, if anything happened to me, I want you to, he told me, I want you to cremate me and take me and put some of my ashes in three of my favorite places, which was Breckenridge, Colorado,
Mm.
Las Vegas, and California. And I was
Wow.
like, child, in my mind, I just like, no, God ain't finna do that no time soon. We good. Okay, thank you for letting me know, but you're gonna get a wife and all the things. Your wife will be responsible for all this, kind of what I
Yeah.
said. We kind of joked and laughed it off, but he was on FaceTime, and we usually don't be on FaceTime, but today's generation, the phone is up and I'm looking at the ceiling while he playing video games or whatever. But
Mhm.
this particular conversation was face to face. He was, as he talked, and I now look back on it. He was very serious, and I really didn't pay attention to how serious he was. But now looking back on it, he had already seen, God had already had that conversation with him that he was,
Mhm.
and when um, and that's how it was. And so for his funeral, I wanted it to be a celebration.
Mhm.
No sad songs. I didn't want no marching into what's the favorite one we do, the Wings.
Oh
Uh,
goodness, it's so many. It's
yeah, but I didn't want any of those. And so
yeah.
and his death was already, sad enough. So I wanted to bring as much light to a sad situation, but I just wanted to do what he had, requested, and that was just to have a homegoing celebration.
Mhm.
And that's what we did. And I'm grateful for the time that we had.
Yeah. Wow, you have taken us, on this journey and taken us through so many of the ebbs and flows through your process. And, from what you last said, is this how important it is to be present in the present
Mhm, mhm.
because we never know, you
Never know.
know, our time, our loved ones' time, the conversations that we have. And so how important it is to be present in the present, but also, like you said, we prepare for the babies to come, but no one wants to talk about, some hopefully are preparing even more now,
Right.
but about death. It is inevitable. And as the word says, under the sun, it's a time, it's a time for all things.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And um also in listening, to you, is that, like you said, there is life, even afterwards.
Mhm.
And but also in that we also have a decision,
Mhm.
right,
Mhm. Yeah.
to still show up, to still have our moments, to still be in the, our human side, in the
Mhm.
reality of, okay, what is taking place. I want to go back to a statement you made earlier, and how you wouldn't recommend, and correct me if I'm wrong, moving on. What were you saying? Moving on or making any major life decision,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? If you haven't, is it if you haven't really set in? the grief or those moments that's come. What did you? Am I saying
So
that?
so when as a grief counselor,
Mm-hmm.
um well, as a counselor period, I've counseled people before my son. I was counseling. After he died, I really stopped counseling. But I would tell people, you don't make major life decisions
Mm.
right after you've lost someone.
Okay.
So, and the reason being is because you're still like not even sure of what you want to do. Like, you give it a minute. You got to walk away from the coffin. You got to walk away from the graveside if they, you didn't cremate them. And then you're doing all this walking away, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are there before the funeral,
Mm.
right? Once you leave that cemetery, and you're gone, you get in the car and you go back and you eat your fried chicken, your collard greens, and your green beans, and you go home. Most of those people who said, if you need me, call me, they're gone. They're not coming. They're not there, right? For
Mm.
me, losing children, my friends didn't know how to handle me because why? They had children. They didn't know how to talk to me or how to console me. And then seeing me lose my daughter and my granddaughter was a real photo moment of, oh my God, this is close, this really happened. This
Yeah.
usually the stuff people see on TV. So when you got all of that still, like, oh, I'm alone now, oh, people are gone, oh, I got to go back to work because the lights still got to stay on, you got to pay your car note, you got to do all the things.
Yes. Life is still
Life
like.
is still going on. And
Yeah.
after, while you're still there, and some people are at the cemetery still on top of their child's grave, and they're there alone and nobody's there. And then somebody asks them something about, well, maybe you should sell the house. And I'm over
Mm.
here saying, maybe you should just wait.
Mm.
Right now, after my daughter and granddaughter died, like I said, they died in 2007. It took me 2 years. My husband now asked me to marry him in 2008. I didn't marry him until 2009,
Mm.
right? Because I'm still in my head like, wait, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Right? And so then, even after my son, I wanted to move from Colorado in 2018 before my son died. So people's like, what, you moved? Yeah, but I wanted to do that before he died. It had nothing to do. So it wasn't a major decision when we sold our house literally in 3 days,
Wow.
literally, and packed up in 17 days and moved.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of already something I had decided beforehand. I was just waiting on my husband to get on board. I was already. So it wasn't a major life decision I made in my grief. And so, and I'm not telling people not to make decisions, because some people, you have to. But what it is give yourself time to just sit there and cry about it.
Yeah.
Like, don't I'm look, I don't care what the good church folks say. It's okay to cry when you lose someone.
Oh
The
yeah.
spirit doesn't. The spirit is okay, but your flesh hurts. Your flesh is the thing that longs for them. Like the spirit, I know my son and daughter. I know if I could open up heaven and be like, y'all want to come back? They're gonna be like, oh
Mm-hmm.
no. Mm-mm. You want to come up here, maybe. So
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But in my flesh, even today, driving home from the doctor, I had a moment. Like, I had a moment. I was like, oh God, come on, not today. I got to talk to Mone't tonight. Let me, get myself
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but you got to give yourself time. And grief will slap you, you in the grocery store.
Let's talk about that, Karen, because I hear you saying not making those major decisions, and I get those, right, but we can't put a limit on and a time frame on grief at all.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Period.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I
Point blank,
mean,
period. Mm-mm.
like you said, you're driving in the grocery, wherever, it will show up anywhere.
Yep.
Because I still have moments with my grandmother. I mean, like, and I'd be like, "Whoa, not that. Wait a minute, not now. Wait a minute."
It's a
It
roller
could be.
coaster ride.
It is.
It's a roller coaster ride because the person doesn't stop being gone, and you don't stop longing for their presence, or when moments happen, or those wonderful life changes, and those those monumental moments in your
Mm-hmm.
life that you want to call and share
Right.
or just have a conversation with. Like sometimes I think it's just the most mundane things that it's like in the everyday, like, you know, that sometimes you just wish you could call about. It really is a roller coaster ride. I think we don't give ourselves enough grace to really be on the ride, because that's what it
Absolutely.
is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, very well said. It absolutely is a roller coaster ride. And it's a show that shows up and shows out whether you want it to or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing, so in my counseling, what I tell people, and so now that I work with mothers who have lost children to death, it's really, I can speak to them and tell them, and most of the time the question is, well, how do you do it? And
Yes.
it's like, I can tell you how I do it, but it might not necessarily work for you.
Mm-hmm.
So what we can do is make a roadmap for what looks good for your life, right? I don't have to leave my house to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm talking to someone that goes to work every day, she has to go show up. She got to put this mask on, all of the Mac and all of the, all the things. We put that mask on, and she got to go and perform for the world, and her heart is broken. And so that works. That's a little different. I'm grateful that through both of my children, I did go back to work a little bit after Tanika, but I had a breakdown literally at work. That was why my daughter called and, told my now husband, it's like, no, I'm just, a little worried about my mom. I want her to be okay. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know what they tell you on the airplane? If there's anything going on and the mask dropped down, put it on yourself first. I still had 6 children I was worried about. And then it's just like I remember dropping down. I worked for the bank. I worked for Wachovia at the time. It was Wachovia. And I remember just dropping down on the floor because I worked at the drive-through because I was embarrassed that I had started crying. And the lady was kept asking me, was I okay? And I'm embarrassed, right? I'm over here hurting, like, and then I'm apologizing and I'm feeling embarrassed because, I lost it. But that was when I learned it's okay just lose it. Let it go. It is what it is, right? And there's nothing you can do about it. But the one thing you don't have to do is apologize.
Yeah.
Like you had said earlier, after about the monumental things, it's the little things. Like when we bought the ranch, I wanted to tell my son, like I know he would love it. Like I know it. My daughter and my granddaughter, I know they would love it. I got married. Like there was a spotlight down for my daughter where she would have stood. It took them about, my makeup got reapplied like 2 or 3 times because I just kept crying because I wanted her just to be there. And then the aisle that I walked down to marry William was the same aisle that I had to walk down behind 2 caskets. So, I had to get my stuff together, and I had to put on my big good girl panties with the lace and all the things so that I can show up good for God. Because that's what I was trying. I was trying to be a good girl. Like I wanted church folks to be proud of me. Now I could care less what church folks think.
Yeah.
And that's not a slight on church. It's just that they set me up. And when I say church, I'm meaning like just church in general. In my Southern Baptist upbringing here in Alabama, they just set me up. They didn't prepare me for loss. Like you didn't talk about death. You didn't talk about, like we take Jesus we go to the cross, and he died, but he rose again. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't stay there. Right. It's
right.
another side.
Right. So there was no resurrection for me. So when you're losing something and we're going to these funerals and we're losing these people and we're just like, but God, put your hand on the casket and wake her up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, all of these things in the Bible, I was like, wait. Why can't I have this? Right. So that's why I said I had to show up and be the good girl for God. And now I'm the good girl for God in the way that he called me. And I'm better for me now. Yeah. And I'm happier for me now, because when I'm hurting and my grief is knocking the hell out of me, I'm going to tell you that it ain't a good moment right now. And I need to be alone, or I need to be by myself. And I don't need you to tell me to pray. And I've done all the things. God knows my name, good, bad, or indifferent. He knew the day that my mother and father conceived me that I was going to have a shout out on the ranch, walking, fussing, cussing moment because my heart is hurting and I miss my children. And
Yeah.
then, and then all of the other people, that I have lost, but my children are the ones that really, really, really made me know that if it wasn't for the God that I learned about and I serve personally, because it's a personal relationship, you know what I'm saying?
It is
Um,
personal.
it is very personal, and we can talk about that all day, all night, and I ain't gonna argue it at all.
Yeah. And that's the difference between, you know, what you were saying about the upbringing, the preparation, all of those things. It's one thing to even what if and if they did, right? But either way, it's still a personal. We get to this back to that crossroad you talk about, and
Mhm.
that's a whole book right there, the crossroads of life. But um you get there and it's still this personal encounter that we must have
Right.
in order for it to be like, okay, because I know personally it's like, okay, if you have me here for a reason,
Mhm.
then I
Mhm.
need you to show me right now in this moment, because otherwise we can just go on, you know. And
Yeah.
so that personal experience, that personal encounter, um, we have all the books of the Bible, but right now we're talking about the book of Karen McCoy, right? The chapter and the page and da 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 da. And I
Right.
need you to, walk me through this. And so as you were talking, now you were sharing that, hey, you counsel mothers and other individuals and help them to navigate, but you have also through your story also been able to reclaim your joy, reclaim your peace, rediscover your joy, and all of these things through this process. Can you tell us, and I know and we know that we're still navigating,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? But how have you been able to reclaim and rediscover your joy?
Well, first I had to be honest with Karen.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first thing. I had to be honest, like I said, and get outside of the status quo of the church. That was my hang up.
Mm,
Was the church. I still have two grandmothers that are living. One is 97 and one is 92. Um, and prayer. That's all. That was their thing. Pray. Pray about it. Pray about it. Right. Pray about it. And it's just like I'm all prayed out. So I had to get away from all of that, and I had to be honest with Karen first. And then I
mm-hmm.
had to ask myself, after my daughter, I kind of got back in the rat race of life. So we really didn't do the work. Didn't do a lot of the work. I just went to school. It's like, okay, I want to counsel, and do this. And it's because I was doing it for free. So let's go on over here. And remember, I show up for the world. So I got to get this degree because the world says you need to have the degree so you can
Right.
do things. All right. God said you need to talk to people, share your story, yada, yada, yada. Let's move on. All right. I did all that. Then when my son died, it's just like, okay, I can't do this the way I did it then.
Mm.
So I had a self conversation. I was like, like, Karen, it's like, what do you want? Like, what do you really, really want other than your child? Because you can't have that. So outside of wanting your children back, what do you want? And I said, I want joy. I want my joy back. I want to
Mm.
be able to just really laugh without feeling guilty. Like I want to be able to go and have fun. I want to be able to get back not so much as where I was, because I will never be the same person the day before. Well, let's say the 5 minutes before the phone call came and said Joshua's dead. I would never be that person again. I'll never be the person, in Tanika. I'm not that person. So I wasn't asking God for that. But I did want God to tell me, what does the new Karen look like? What does a healed version of me look like? Right. And so being honest with myself first, that was the first thing I did. And then after doing that, I cried some more and fussed and cussed some more and read the Bible some more and continued to get the downloads. Because at this point, when I opened up and said, God, I want you to heal me for you, that's when it got good. That's when I could like, it's like my ears will open, my eyes, I could see. And it's like every little sensitive noise. Y'all, my husband was sitting on the
Mm.
couch eating, and it's like I could hear him chewing. That's how
Wow.
in tune I had. It was just like, okay. And so then I, got a coach, made a program, Renew Your Joy. And I did that program based off of what I was doing the first 2 years after my son's death. And so then now, 5 years after my son's death, it's the 3 R's of grief. You got to rediscover, reclaim, and renew your joy. So in rediscovering, you got to rediscover who you are, because before that, like I said, before my son's death, before I got that phone call, I was a different person. So
Mm.
now I had to rediscover, who are you now? Answer that question. So I talked to little Karen. It's like, well, what do you want to do? When you were little, they told you can't do this, you can't do that. And then y'all know what? After my son's death, this is what happened. God leveled the playing field. COVID happened. Everybody had to go home. And I was just like, oh my goodness, everybody's at home. We don't have to worry about nothing, right?
Mm.
Unfortunately, it was a bad thing for some people, but COVID pretty much just made me feel safe,
Wow.
because my son's death was very public. So now it brought everybody home, and now everybody isn't. So rediscovering who I was what I did. Reclaiming, I had to reclaim myself. I had to reclaim my sanity. Make sure, like, go into counselor, make sure that I was okay. Check in with, my husband, because he lost something as well.
Mm.
So my family, my kids, I still have 5 living kids, but I couldn't help everybody. But I checked in with everybody, just like, hey, because I wanted my joy back. And those are people that are in my life. So then in the midst of all that, LaQuisha invited me to her Zoom. And then I got reinvested, or reintroduced to
Mm.
something that was smothered down in motherhood, because, with 7 kids, who has time to paint, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that was how really Slapping Paint on Paper was born, and it's trademarked as well.
Yes, it
Um,
is.
uh-huh. Because LaQuisha and them, everybody will ask, like, what you doing? I was just slapping paint on paper. Like, it's become my thing. So literally, I'm in the studio right now. This is my safe space, right? And it was the thing that when I come in here, I really, really come in here to connect, more so to connect with me, but more so prepare myself for where God is taking me next. And this is kind of
Mm.
like my slapping paint on paper kind of it gets it out of my head, and really, creates it to whatever it turns into. Like, you can see the stuff behind me and all the things. And y'all, this is the other thing. Who wants to go into counseling? Most people don't want to talk about grief. Most people don't want to talk about it, right? Most people don't want to do counseling. But I do
Mhm.
art therapy now. And who don't want to slap some paint on some paper every now and then, right?
Love
Or
it.
so that's how I rediscovered, reclaimed, and renewed my joy. Now, don't get me wrong. I still have some crying, like I told you today, but when I
Mhm.
come in here, I know how to really strategically not stop the crying or stop the grief, but I really know, okay, you're getting a little over here, you're getting a little overwhelmed. Come on, let's narrow it back down, and let's come in the studio and create. And that's what I do.
Whoa. Wow. Y'all, did y'all
Mm.
that is a beautiful thing, how God can take our grief, our mess, and as someone says, turning your mess into your message,
Mhm.
your journey, um and sharing it with the world. And out of that, out of the pain, out of death, out of grief,
Excuse
how
me.
he's still able to take that and bring about life through us creating and allowing us to be innovative.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that it's okay to have your moment,
Mhm.
your time. We have to get it out of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And just listening to you, how you just help yourself to navigate through that, hey, this is my space. So it's important for us to create a space
Create a space. Absolutely.
where you can have what your moment. You might not be able to walk or whatever, but if you have a space within your home, an environment, something like that, somewhere, identify or create a space where you can connect, like Karen said. Connect with you.
Mm-hmm. And be honest when you do it. Be honest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times as women, we are giving. Like you said, mother of 7, right? 6,
7.
7. You're always probably subconsciously giving, pouring, whether it's a phone call or they're face to face.
Absolutely.
We're still giving, and grandchildren, all of those things. And it's important for us to take that time, because that's a part of self-care.
Absolutely.
And in that, going back to our childhood, right? And slapping paint on paper, y'all. Look, trademark, listen. Being able to have fun. And I remember like being a child in elementary, middle school, as well as high school, just having a love for art. But as I grew up and started going to college and all of that, I kind of lost touch with that side. I was winning contests and everything. And so,
Girl.
yes, oh my goodness, my artwork was in the gallery and everything. And I literally lost touch. But maybe a couple of years ago, I said, wait a minute. Actually, with LaQuisha, to just getting reconnected with that part of me, like, wait a minute, I love to create. And it was a release for me that I really didn't realize, that was there. And so in that, it could also be therapeutic.
It is very, so here's the thing I tell people, and if pain isn't their thing, what we're saying is basically find out what your thing is.
Yes.
Long as it's legal. That's my disclaimer there.
Thank you.
But something about just really putting the paint on the paper, right? It made it, and then trying to control it. So it started out a control thing for me, because I'm one of them type A personalities. I need, 7 kids. I needed to be in control, and I'm an only child, so I ain't have to worry about nobody else. So I always need to be in control. But having the paint and really just letting it do what it really wanted to do, let me learn how to let go and let God do what he was already trying to do in me. I mean, really think about it. Think about it. How many times God has told you to do something or showed you or brought somebody in your life and you didn't do it. Right? So he came back and used paint to start talking to me. And I'll tell you, like I tell people, it's like that paint started talking, them flowers start talking. And then I was just like, wait, what you say? And even today, like through the tears, as I started crying because God gave me a revelation, and I had to pay attention to the sign that was given to me 2 days ago. And I just really kind of brazed over to whatever, but it came back in the doctor's office. And then I was just like, so I started crying because it's just like, I ignore signs so much because they happen so much in my life. When I tell you, like, you be talking, I'd be like, oh yeah, I remember God saying something like that long ago. And then I'll keep going. But I told my daughter the other day, I said, give me a number, a dollar amount. And she texted me back. She said 1 million. I said, okay. So I was on a live yesterday and I was like, I want 1 million. I was like, no, my bad. I want 2.2 million. I need 2.2 million. So, because I got to give away a whole million, right? So you got to start speaking these astronomical things. And Dr. Vicky been saying it for the last couple of years, right? Yes. But I was just like, yeah, okay, I don't put it in my book, but do you believe it? Do you believe that God really can show up and show out in your life like that? I'm sitting on a dream that was manifested in a book. I'm on 10 and a half acres, y'all. I get to wake up and walk 10 and a half acres. And it is all that God showed me years ago. Like, so believe God. Child, just show, just whatever God has told you to do, just do it. So anybody that's listening, I'm here to tell you, don't let God have to let you stand by the casket so that you can really start getting these downloads. Just take it from me, as I've walked away from not one, but two, but three caskets. And I tell God, I still trust you and I still believe you. And I tell anybody, God might hear some words and be like, I cannot believe that I'm gonna let that girl wake up in the morning, but somebody need her, and I'm gonna let her wake up in the morning. So be real and be honest with yourself. Like, show up for you first. That's just it. So slapping paint on paper is it's fun, and I get to have fun. And sometimes I sit in here and cry, and I use my own tears while I'm painting. I just let the tears drop because God still has favor for me, even though some days I just feel like I'm not even worthy, you know. And he reminds me, and then he sends people to remind me that, I needed that from you, or, oh, I'm happy you said that. And I'm just like, huh? So I'm embracing it.
Oh, wow. Karen, I love your realness, your authenticity. I mean, I just love it. I'm for real. We need that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The people need that. The world needs it. And so I am just so appreciative of your yes and showing up authentically as you, because nobody needs anybody else wearing a mask, putting all those layers of makeup on, but dying inside, right?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, we do we do need to look good. Now, I'm not saying
I get all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna come out now, but do you feel good?
Yeah.
When you take it off, would you go to the grocery store the way you wake up? And if you would get up out of your bed and be like, oh, I need some eggs, and you ain't got to put all the things on and do all the things. I don't mean go out in your bonnet and your pajama pants. I'm not saying that. But I am saying, do you need all of those things? Right? Or are you okay with all the stuff that's inside? Yesterday on the call we was on the Zoom yesterday with Sunrise Project, they were talking about are like braless. Like, are you that kind? You just want to be, let's be free, really, right?
Yeah.
And then when we're all sitting around and we all, just ain't got a bra on and just hanging out, then we ain't got nothing to be ashamed of and talk about. And I was just like, oh my God, that is just, I told them I was low key judging, because if anybody know me, I'm going to keep my girls in training. I got 7 kids, but we ain't finna look like we nursed all of them. So I was low key judging, but the basis of it is, let's just show up.
Yeah.
Let's be that good girlfriend. Like, you done seen how me and Monique react. Like, you like, most people like, are y'all related? Like, even in Spain, it's like, y'all been friends a long time. But when God connects, when he
divine connection,
you got somebody that speaks into you and you speak into them, and then y'all just get on the plane and just go across the world together.
Yeah, well, come on. Tell us about, come on, international world traveler. Come on, tell us where you just came from. Sharing the message.
Look, Monique and I just came from Valencia, Spain. Other than the fact that they had a flood that took some lives, we had a great time. We were keynote speakers. We spoke. Monique did an amazing job. I felt like a proud mama over there. I just pat myself on the back a little bit and wipe my tears, because I'm super, super proud of her. Because if you know Monique, years ago, she was like, no, I don't do that. No, I ain't, no. And I'm over here telling God. So this is a good example when God talks to you and put people in your life, and you done had this dream, right? And then I was like, God, I'm not doing that. So I reached out. She was my accountability partner. So I did that part. I was like, all right, God, we connected. We good. Then he kept going. And I was just like, okay, am I supposed to tell her? But I wasn't supposed to tell her. It was just more so be there, be the guide, and then kind of gradually. And then when she would say certain things, it's like we've had this conversation before, but it was a conversation that me and God had.
Wow.
Also, God telling me what to do, and I'm saying no. And so to see Mone't now makes me even trust God more when I do have these dreams and these, conversations. It's like, all right, God, got it, got it, got it, got it. So when God tells you something, and Mone't, when God say go over there and rub that's the stone the shoulder and tell her it's gonna be all right, then we feel like I don't know her.
Yeah.
Y'all know how we do. So, but we excuse me. All of this is still coming off the plane. This is part of the jet lag and all the things. When I came back, my body said I don't want to do nothing. So I literally just got up Saturday, and we had a great time. We met some amazing people from, everywhere, even America.
Yeah.
And so it was a good time to be had. And we'll continue to grow together and build each other up, and still argue and still do things we do, because that's who look, Monique is the one that gave me. I started to put all that up there, but I said I'm gonna just put Karen McCoy up there. But Monique, she put it up there, the real Karen McCoy.
Yeah, so she put it in the chat. Yes, she did.
Yeah. So and it's like, because that's what I always tell people, I'm the real McCoy, and they be like, huh? It's like, yeah, my name is spelled McKoy, not McCoy. So I'm the real McCoy. Yes, and so every time I call her, she's like, the real Karen McCoy. So it kind of stuck.
I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, but we had a great time. The food was amazing.
So on this journey, right? Because you're still stepping out of your comfort zone and stepping out of, from when you used to say, no, I would never do that. No, 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 no. Or knowing that you were called, but still preparing for the world. So, but now on this side, stepping into the doors and the opportunities that God has opened before you, how does it feel? How does it make you feel that, wow, I'm now doing these things, not worrying about what the world, all these other things. How do you feel?
I feel free. I really do. I listened to an interview, I think Friday something. I'm late on the Tabitha Brown train, right? Because when Tab came out, my son was killed, and I wasn't on social media and all the things. So I don't know what. Oh, Dr. Vicky showed me one thing, and so she became in my download, on the YouTube. Once you look at one thing and there it is. So she did an interview on November the 13th, and she had said, somebody had asked her something, and she said she felt free, and I was like, oh wow, I just wrote that down in my good book, right? Yeah. And it was like, all right, God, I get it. It's always hold on to it. So, and when I say free, I'm free of the church. Like, I was running from the church because I felt like I didn't want to go to church and say the wrong thing, and then I got to cuss somebody out, right?
Oh, right.
So, I was staying away from church, and so my grandmama said, "Well, you going to church?" I was like, "Yeah, I go to Bedside Baptist," and I pull my laptop up, and I pick who I'm gonna watch, at this service time, and I get a lot of, and so, but God said about 2 weeks ago, it's time for you to stop hoeing around with the church online. And so I told Dr. Vicky, I was like, just before we left, and I was like, yeah. And she gave me a church, and so I'm going to visit next week. And I really believe it's going to work out, because when God says a thing and he does a thing, he usually starts like putting things all in place. It's like if you ever play Tetris, like you play Tetris, that's my life. It's like, make sure you get that block right. But then I've let go. I've really, really let go. And the reason I let go, Mone't, is because I still have 5 children, 5 little children. And I don't want God to have to feel the need that he got to snatch another child to get my attention. So I let him know every time I think about it, Lord, I'm listening. Don't think I'm not listening. Because I need him to know that I'm really, really, I'm here. and I'm tuned in. And whatever, if it's in line with what he has called me to do, I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah. Lord, I'm here and I'm present and accounted for.
And
That's what
account.
came in my mind. I'm
And even,
present and I'm accounted for, because sometimes we can just be present, but
mhm,
we're not doing anything. But God, you said I'm tuned in as
I'm
well.
tuned in. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To the simple things, because I did a live today, and put it on. It's on my YouTube, and y'all go follow me on my YouTube channel, Slap and Paint on Paper. I'm all things Karen McCoy. You just Google me. You know what's the name say? I'm Googleable, baby. Just Google me. Make
Google, listen, yes,
Google me.
lay out all your how to follow you, all of that
So
for us.
you can follow me on YouTube. I am Karen McCoy. You just got to spell McCoy right. I am the real McCoy, like McKoy. And then Facebook is I am Karen McCoy. I think all things is I am Karen McCoy. It's either I am Karen McCoy or slapandpaintonpaper.com is my website for the paint, because I do sell my prints now. I am a real artist. And KarenMcCoy.com if you are a mother and you want to know how to reach me and have a, maybe get on my calendar, have a conversation, or anything like that, KarenMcCoy.com for that. And that's where you'll find all the things. So that's the easiest spot, is go to KarenMcCoy.com. But yeah, follow me on all the things, especially my YouTube channel, because I'm really tuning in to like little 10-minute porch chronicles, little conversations. And today it was about celebrating the little things. Like we celebrate the big things. Like, yeah, Monique and I went to Spain. That's a big thing. But then we got to break it down to the little things, the real little, like teenagey things. Like, we made connections with some amazing people. Like we had some amazing candy. We had some real Coke, go down to how really good the trip was. Then everybody else be like, oh yeah, they went to Spain and then they did this. They can give you a little bit more than just, yeah, we went to Valencia, Spain, and we spoke and we had a great time. You can have all of those little things. And then we had the great bartender who, and don't judge me, who made the best mojito that we've ever had. I'm just saying, Jesus turned water into wine, so okay. Okay,
I'm renewing and I'm rediscovering and
listen here.
reclaiming my joy.
Listen here. When you get that Bible, this is the thing. When you get that Bible and you start reading it for yourself, girl, when God start talking to you and telling you what he wants you to do, because see, Monet, the people that we need to talk to, they ain't really in the church. We got to in the grocery store and all these places that we see these people. And so therefore, sometimes the people, they might be sitting over at the bar and we might need to just go over there and do whatever. But wherever you're calling, whatever your lane is, get in tune with it and then just show up great. Just be like, hey, how you doing? And be okay with it. And I'm okay with all the things now. I'm not here. And I used to be like, don't judge me. I'll be like, judge me. So God can get with you. Because it must be something that is in me that is bothering you. Because I'm going to continue to show up as Karen McCoy and is.
The real Karen McCoy. And you know what? We have to, and this is why we have to have a personal it's going back to that, your personal relationship.
Absolutely.
And for those who are listening and viewing, we thank you. I mean, they've been lighting up the chat here, Karen. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
But it is really important for us to have a personal relationship with God. Absolutely. So wherever you find yourself at, whatever season, whatever role, whatever journey, whatever chapter that you are able to navigate, because what Karen is saying is her thing. Like she said, that might not be your thing, right? He gives us grace for the space that he has us in. Absolutely. Individually.
Absolutely.
The grace that she has might not be the grace that you have, right? But we have to be able to navigate and show up authentically. And so I'm just so excited about all things Karen McCoy and what you are doing in the world locally and internationally on all levels. And just super excited about that. Wow. T, she's blessed us tonight.
She sure did. She
I
sure
mean,
did.
I
Um,
am, yeah.
yeah, that was a beautiful pour, and I thank you for your transparency about your journey, because it's one thing for people to know that they're not alone, but it's another to feel and see that they aren't. So I truly appreciate your pour, because it was definitely blessed.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Karen, what would you want to leave? Is there any last words that you want to leave with our sister to sister viewers or those who listen to the replay? Any last words?
I want people to really know that God called you the day that He decided there was going to be a you.
Mm,
And the only person that can give you direction about the you that you need to be is your creator. So stop listening to the world. Stop paying attention to all of the social media. I know it's great and wonderful. We're here on this platform, but just be mindful, especially during this time now we're in. Be mindful to take time out for yourself and really question things, but don't question your calling, because you're called for such a time as this.
mm.
That's good.
So just
That's
ask God, and be real. Be like, yo, dude, what you want?
right.
Mhm.
It don't come no. I mean, however you do it, I just realized that I just like God. What you want, man? What you want, dude? What's up? You know. So, however, you want to have that conversation with God, but start with Him first. And
Amen.
that's what I want. Like I joke around, I play about a lot of things, but I don't play about God. Like I let people know that we have a personal relationship, and I feel like Monet, I can come to you now because we done had some beach time and all the
Right.
things, and we can have certain conversations because you've already approved me to be real, right?
Yes.
And so that's all God is saying. It's like, yo, just come to me. I just want to have a relationship with you. But he want the naked you. He don't want the covered up and
Mhm.
all that other stuff. He want you to come. So that way he can dress you in the fine clothes. He trying to put you in Versace and you over here happy with Dillard's, and he trying to give you all the good things. And but that's what we do. That's what we do.
Mhm.
We tell God what we want him to do, and we tell him our dreams and all the things, and he's over here trying to enlarge our territory, and we just like, but I just want, like I really said I want $2.2 million. He might be telling me he's gonna give me 5 million.
Mhm.
Lord, I'm here to receive it. That's all.
I love it. Oh, listen, look, we already have a that part two coming with the real Karen McCoy. Listen, y'all, I hope y'all have been blessed tonight. Listen, show up as your authentic self. God already knows the
Absolutely.
unmasked version of you. He just wants you. And another thing that I'm hearing through what you shared tonight is we got to get clear on what we want. When you get clear on what you want, then God can he's already clear, but he can clearly deliver it to you.
That part. Absolutely.
Exceeding abundantly, right? Above all that we could ask or think. Da, 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 da.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely. Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
I told somebody that get clear on what you want. What do you want? If someone is going to bring you that 2.2 million, that now what you're doing with it? How
There
you
you
going?
go.
We know what with Dr. Vicky, how she said, how you going to break it down? Da, 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 what you doing with it?
That's
And
right.
so, you have that opportunity to do so. And so let's start tonight, y'all. Don't worry about what happened yesterday. Start from now.
Right now.
Declare, decree, write the vision. You see the good book she pulled up, the journal. Look, write it down, write the vision, make it plain. Get
Absolutely.
clear. And if you're not clear in this moment, you have an opportunity to get clear. Those moments that she talked about, they build up to the day the week, right? Your the quarters, the months, all of that, the year. And so let's start from where we are in this moment and begin to build. But we want to build and know that we're going in the right direction.
Amen.
Karen, thank you so much for hanging out with us today at Sister to
Yes.
Sister Talk Power Moves.
Girl, you're welcome.
Yes. Y'all, it's not a show, but it's a flow over here. Yes, yes, and yes.
Oh,
We
yeah.
are so happy that Karen, the real Karen Mckoy, has hung out with us today. Y'all, we're gonna have to drop all of your taglines, your YouTubes, your handles, all of that in the chat. So those who want to connect, they can subscribe to your YouTube channel. We'll make sure we drop them in so we can stay connected. Sister to Sister is all about being able to share those real life stories that you will, so that you'll know at the end of the day that you're not alone and that you are not only inspired but empowered to take the next step. Right? So we're moving from stuff to manifestation. And so here you are today with some more tools to put in your toolkit, y'all. And so we'll be back here next Monday at 7 p.m. with yet another super amazing special guest here with us as we're wrapping up this last quarter of the year. Stay tuned. This show will be on our YouTube channel. So make sure you go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe, subscribe, share, and stay connected. This has been another Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves, where we are flowing and not just showing, but we're showing up and we're elevating, and we're not doing it alone, but we're doing it together. God bless you all. Take care, take charge, and let's elevate.
Right.
Take care. Good night, everybody. Blessings.